Hello. Hey, Em. How are you doing, girl? It is 5:38 p.m. on the 16th of August, 2018. And this is my regular chat with you. And let's see. I've been writing notes about what I want to talk about, but I won't necessarily go use them so much. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I came home from work today and I had dinner, and then I used the water pick to floss my teeth. Boom! Because I've got braces, right? I've got to brush all of the food particles that are in my braces out before I feel confident talking to people. Is this something that happens to you? In fact, I found myself carrying a toothbrush around with me all the time. I've got a toothbrush in my bag, and sometimes I have a toothbrush in my carrying case. And, it's just what I got to do just to make sure that I'm presentable and that I don't have, salad or vegetables or bread in my teeth. So it's important. And by the way, like I mentioned earlier, if you want a water pick, feel free to ask that or tell me that you're interested, and I might just get you one as a gift. Who knows? I'm still thinking about ideas for Christmas for you. So I had this idea about maybe even reading books to you. What? Just thought of something that I could possibly. I've got this book called Peaceful Living, and it's written by Mary McKenzie, and I actually know Mary McKenzie. I visited with her for a few times, and she's been a teacher of mine. But you know what? I could just. Let's see, what is today anyway? Did I say it was the 16th? Let's just talk about the 16th and see what it says. This is a calendar, and that it has a little snippet of ideas every day of the year, 365 of them. And they talk about peace and compassion and empathy. And it's something that I've got a bookmark here. It's something that I have been reading, but I don't read all too often. I need to read it more often. So here we go. So August 16th. It's a quote from Dr. Thomas Gordon. It says, "We know that when people learn to communicate effectively with each other, their lives and their relationships can be truly transformed." Dr. Thomas Gordon. Yeah. And then she goes on to talk about clarifying our requests to meet our needs. Well, this quote is actually really good. When people learn to communicate effectively with each other, their lives and their relationships can truly be transformed. And I'm a real big believer in that. You know that I have an interest in communication, or at least I hope you know that. I go to a lot of communication seminars, and I do my best to learn techniques to empathize more accurately with other people in my life, not just you, but my own parents, my brothers and sisters, my cousins, my relatives, my friends. And it's something that I think is really important. Partly because, everything in life that we have often pretty much comes from other people. Like this car apartment that I live in, well, that was built by another person. And, the money that I earn to pay for my rent, well, my manager hired me. And that's partly how I get that money, is my communication with him. And everything that's good in my life, say it's my friends, let's say it's my friends, I maintain those friendships through communication. And so it's really important for me to maintain my communication skills, because like I mentioned, everything I get from other people, and I get through other people through communication, my communication skills. And so if you ever want something, or you think you need something to satisfy a need of yours, you'll have to sort of ask another person for it. or figure out some strategy to communicate with another person and get it, whatever it is. And so that requires some knowledge of language and communication. It requires an understanding of empathy, and it requires emotional intelligence. It requires social intelligence to pull that off. And so that's why I'm an advocate of communication and developing communication skills. Because you, for example, you're just beginning in life, and there are things that you need and want, deserve and desire. There are goals that you are attempting to achieve, and you need communication skills in order to make all that stuff a reality, to receive all of that. You sort of have to understand how to ask, and understand how to convey information, like your knowledge about the world. Anyway, I think you can tell how passionate I am about this subject. I could go on and on and on. So the quote says, "We know that when people learn to communicate effectively with each other, their lives and their relationships can be truly transformed." So yeah, like say you want, you may be wanting a relationship to, relationships even with your own parents to be healthy and strong. That requires communication. Anyway, and that can transform you. Yeah, learning a new conversation technique can be the tipping point that transforms your relationship or repairs a damaged relationship. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm really excited about communication. And in fact, that's something I want for you. That is, I would like to assist, you in developing better communication skills. I'm all for social networking and finding and developing friendships in a circle of friends. That is stuff that's my bread and butter. That's the stuff that I love to do. I love to make new friends. I love to try to maintain new friends, to reach out to them, and to see what's going on with them, to honor them, to appreciate them, to love them. That's what it's all about. A lot of happiness and enjoyment in life rotates and revolves around the health of your relationships. I know that's true. I want harmony in my relationships. I want mutuality in my relationships. And when the harmony isn't there, when there is discord, when there is hurt feelings, I suffer. And, it's, I think of it as a loss. And so, anyway, that's part of the reason I'm really passionate about empathy and communication. I want to minimize losses. And maximize what's possible. There's so much potential out there. Every stranger that walks down the street, there is a potential for you to make music with them, relational music, and serve each other and give and receive and give again and receive some more, and get happiness and enjoyment, fulfillment, and meaning from this relationship. And that's with almost any stranger that walks down the street. So there's so much potential. So much potential. And we live in the age of communication now. So we've got Facebook, and we've got telephone and texting and cellular phones and television and computers, where we can reach out to literally anyone in the world. Can you imagine the potential there? The potential is just spellbinding. It's awe-inspiring, really. Where we can find people who need us, who want to spend time with us, and where we are ultra compatible, who we are ultra compatible with. I mean, the potential out there is staggering, just staggering, and to cause so much enjoyment and meaning and, I don't know, happiness and peace and fulfillment. Yeah, yeah, that's my dream. That's my dream, to realize those possibilities and to minimize the risks. Right? So anyway, speaking of connecting with family and friends and circles of friends, I might have mentioned yesterday that earlier in the week I spoke with Lloyd and Suzanne Shank, and I also spent time with their dog Umbra in their home, and after they had arrived home from the East Coast where Lloyd was working, and had a really enjoyable conversation with them, and they're doing fine, except Suzanne has some problems with her back. She's been having some muscle pain and muscle weakness in her back, and hopefully she feels better soon. And no doubt she will. She has an amazing ability to recover. She is so good at recovering. In fact, there was one instance, I forget what, she had this thing, I forget what it was. Maybe it was back surgery. Oh yeah, it was back surgery. And she recovered from back surgery faster than I could have even imagined. She, like in 3-4 weeks, in fact, maybe even 2, she was already out and about, walking around, going to the store. Surprising. I mean, I was like, what? You just had surgery like 2 weeks ago. And, she recovers so fast. She's got a really high energy level. And so I've been really proud of her ability to recover in the past. And I have no doubt that her recovery will knock my socks off again. We'll see how that goes, though. So yeah, I spoke with Lloyd and Suzanne and played a little around with Umbra. Umbra is such a playful dog. He's so energetic. Umbra seems to be a kid, even though I think, according to age, Umbra is a little older, maybe like late teenagehood for a dog. But Umbra had so much energy and was so positive and happy. I mean, that's why I love dogs. They are just man's best friend, bar none. They're just such great companions. So optimistic and loving and caring. Umbra didn't even know me. She hadn't seen me for almost a year. And still, she relates to me as if I were a dear friend. So, I had a lot of dogs growing up when I was a kid. And they were pretty much all named Lady. That was our name for dogs. And I tell you, that was a lot of fun, having dogs, growing up with dogs, playing with dogs. I think partly it was so much fun because I didn't have to really care for them, their needs, like going to the vet or feeding them water or dog food. That was pretty much done by my parents, done by my mom and my dad. And I remember them living in like dog houses. And there was one time we lived in a trailer, and there was our Doberman Pinscher lived underneath the porch and gave birth there to like 9 pups underneath the porch. So that means that at one time I had 10 dogs. Oh boy. What's kind of funny is, and actually it's not funny at all, but at that time it was very common to, if your dog had a litter of pups, to just give them away to anybody who wanted them. And I remember, I think, standing in front of a grocery store handing out pups. I know, it's sad. Especially now that I'm so much into animal rights, interest, action, really just kindness to animals, caring for animals, sympathy and compassion for animals. And I wouldn't necessarily advocate doing that today, based on what I know and my current values. Finding a good home for your pets is important. And just giving them away in front of a grocery store is a poor solution. But you have to realize I was only like 9 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. You know, it just was common in the culture at the time where I was. You know, it's certainly not what's common today. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I can't believe how fast time goes. It's only been 15 minutes. Anyway, let me say briefly that I love you. You're important to me. I love you just the way you are. I respect you. I want your needs to be met. I respect and your decisions and your choices. And I know that you're doing the best that you can. The best that you can with what you have in the situation that you're in. And I couldn't ask for anything more than that. You were completely satisfying my needs. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. And that if you're suffering right now, I hope that eventually you'll find relief. And you'll find the love that you need and want. Okay? I love you, girl. Bye-bye.